Hello, world. I hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a blessed week. So, I'm making this video to kind of talk about a subject that I think is very important. And this idea isn't a new idea, it's an idea that's been around for quite some time. And it's an idea that actually comes out of the Bible, but it's often misquoted. Many of you probably have heard of the old saying, money is the root of all evil. Well, it actually comes out of a letter written to a guy named Timothy in the Bible. It's in chapter 6. And the statement is actually, money is the root of all kinds of evil. So, not just all evil, just kinds, types of evil. And it says, following that, this is the reason why some people have left. Now, if you think about roots, a root is really the foundation of any plant or tree if you've ever accidentally tripped over a root. And sometimes the roots can stay there long after that tree is dead. If you've ever seen a stump and try to remove a stump, it is not easy to remove a stump because sometimes those roots are stuck in the ground. And so, going back to that passage in scripture, it's in the context of talking about false teachers, people that are sharing fake information. And in 2018, terms like fake news and nonsense like that are carried around. But the reason people get carried away with fake news and fake this and fake that is because we as human beings, we want some level of truth. Whether it's the blunt truth, whether it's a light truth, we want truth. We want some sort of reality. And back then, they wanted the same thing because, honestly speaking, people can be turned in a lot of directions by a silver tongue. People can be taught and told to do things that normally they wouldn't do by someone who sounds like they know what they're talking about. And so, coming back to that concept of money being the root of all kinds of evil, something for you to think about. A root is a big thing. Sometimes they're thin, sometimes they're really thick. But do you ever think about how they got to be that way? Well, it all starts with the seed that's planted. A plant doesn't just magically appear out of nowhere. It starts with how it's planted. You see, the roots are able to take hold based on where that seed is planted and what is used to water and make those roots grow. So if you think about love for money, well, you have to think about, what does money represent to some people? For some people, money is a way of survival. For some people, money is status. Money, if I have a lot of money, I'm awesome. If you don't have a lot of money, you're not awesome. For some people, money is a means to do whatever. For me, money is something that allows me to do things I like to do with the people I like to do them with, if that makes sense. So, if I plant the seed that money is a means of survival in somebody's mind, that person's gonna, as those roots take hold, if I'm watering negativity, if if it's getting inappropriate amount of sunlight, if those roots aren't fed well, I can put that seed in someone's mind that money is the only way to survival and you got to keep track of every dime. And that could lead to that person investing so much time in holding on to money that it consumes them. Or the flip side, looking at the other way, if I see money as status, identity, who I am, if I plant that seed in somebody's mind and those roots grow in a negative way, well, then that person's going to think, I have to have a lot of money. I need to have a lot of money. And if you think any way different, well, screw you. Money is who I am. Money is my life. And as those roots take hold, the tree or the plant grows. And that plant is built off the root that says, money is my identity. Now look at my case. Money for me is a tool to share with other people. Now, if I plant that seed in someone's mind and they take it negatively, they're going to think, oh, I got to spend only my money on other people. And when that day comes when they can't spend that money, they're going to have an identity crisis. If I can't use my money to help other people, I'm not a good person. If I can't use my money to help other people, what if they don't like it when you spend money on them? Then you're going to be offended by that. And so, what you need to be careful about, and this is really important for parents, for us as a society, we got to be thinking about the seeds that we're planting, especially when it comes to viewing money, because if those seeds sprout, and if they sprout in a negative manner, that person is going to have could have a negative view of themselves, of society, of different communities, because a love of money is tied to all kinds of evil, not just one type, all kinds of evil. It can go in as many directions as it wants, but it starts based on what that seed is, how it's planted, and what is being used to nourish that seed. For my case, my parents, some of the friends I grew up with, I saw them sharing their money with other people. Now, there's some people that they didn't share their money with. Or there was a certain time when they would share certain money with other people. They found a balance. And so I've tried to replicate that with my own life, successful and unsuccessful at times. And so for you, I want to challenge you all. Be careful about the seeds you're planting, especially when it comes to thoughts about money. Because money, honestly, I mean, it impacts all of us. But it's how we view it and how we plant that view in another person, because you're going to. How you grow up is going to impact how you view money. You know, if you grew up tough, you might see money as a way of survival. And for most of us, it is. If I don't have money, I don't get a place to sleep. But I can take that too far. Same thing with if you value yourself based on money, and we all do. You can tell the difference between a person who owns a Mercedes and a person that has an old beat-up truck. Now, what you may not know is that person with an old beat-up truck may have a lot of money. But I know for sure the person with the Mercedes has a lot of money. But their identity, it's okay to think, okay, I'm good at what I do because I have this money, which shows I am good at what I do. But you can take that too far. So my challenge for you is to look at how you view money and how you are planting that seed into another person's mind. And I also want you to think about how that seed is growing within that person. Because sometimes you got to prune a plant. Sometimes you got to trim back the weeds. Just because that person is starting to have a negative view of something doesn't mean you can't fix it. It doesn't mean you can't try and make it better. Because none of us are perfect. If you've ever planted a seed, sometimes it's just like you're just tossing it. You don't know where it's going to land. And if you've ever tried watering, sometimes watering, you're not paying that much attention. But as it grows, you can try and make adjustments. So those are my thoughts today. God bless.